Hi there, welcome back to Storybook STEM. My name is Miss Christine, and this week we're reading a book all about trains, and then we're doing a train activity. Okay, and you need some supplies for the train activity. You need tape, 4 plastic or paper cups, and then you need either a shoebox or a book, and either 2 yardsticks or 2 rulers. Okay, and even if you don't have the supplies, you can watch the experiment, but it's more fun if you have them. Okay, so we're going to read How to Train a Train. It's a book all about trains, and it's a make-believe book about what if you had a pet train. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to project my screen so you can really see the pages of the book. But I want you to think about a couple of things. If you had a pet train, what would you name it? And what would you want to train your pet train to do? Okay, so here we go with our story, this week's Storytime STEM story, How to Train a Train. Storybook STEM. How to Train a Train by Jason Carter Eaton. So you want a pet train? Well, of course you do. Trains make awesome pets. They're fun, playful, and extremely useful. Lucky for you, this handy guidebook contains everything you need to know to choose, track, and train your very own pet train. Ready? Then let's head out and find some trains. Different trains live in different places. Freight trains live in the countryside and travel in herds. Monorail trains live in the city and travel alone. Have you decided which sort of train you'd like? Great. Now you need to catch one. There are lots of ways to catch a train. Some people will corner it, others might use a big net to trap it. Still others will run the track into quicksand. True, these methods all work, but I'm going to show you the best way. First, get up really early in the morning to find a good hiding spot close to some trains. Next, the hard part. Sit quietly and wait and wait and wait some more. As the sun rises, the trains will begin to stir and start their engines. Watch them work and play. It's only natural that you want to take home all the trains, but don't grab the first one you see. Take your time and choose the one that's right for you. Got one? Time to make your move. Send a puff of smoke high into the air. Perfect. You've got the train's attention. If you brought any coal with you, now would be the time to offer it. Try saying, "My, what a handsome train you are." Next, make the call of the wild train. Chugga, 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 choo, choo. Well done. Here it comes. How will you know if the train you caught is the one? Don't worry, you'll know. Once you get the train home, you'll want to give it a name. Some popular train names are Milo, Morgan, Nathan, Pushkin, Smokey, Picklepuss, Captain Boogaloo, Little Miss Muffinhead, and Sir Chugs-a-Lot, and even Sparkles. Of course, you can name your train anything you want. Don't worry if it seems shy or scared at first. A train needs time to adjust to new surroundings. A warm bath can help calm a nervous train. Few trains can resist a good read aloud. If your train has trouble falling asleep at night, play soft locomotive sounds like rock-a-rock, click-a-clack, rock-a-rock, click-a-clack. This is an old conductor's trick that'll give your train good dreams. Spend as much time as you can getting to know your new train. Does it prefer going fast or slow? Does it like to fetch? How does it feel about tunnels and bridges? Want to teach your train a few tricks? Easy as pie. Start with a simple trick and then move on to something a bit harder. By now, your train should be ready to let you go for a ride. But start out slow. Try riding in the caboose at first. Trains are very particular about who sits in the engineer car. Good manners are important. Train your train not to leap on people and to always wipe its wheels before going indoors. Of course, your train can't go everywhere with you. Out in the open road, you're sure to pass other kids with their pet trains, planes, trucks, or submarines. This is a great chance for both of you to go out and make new friends. Congratulations! You've given your train fuel, water, and a good home, and plenty of friendship and fun. Everything it needs to be happy. How will you know if your train is happy? Don't worry, you'll know. Okay, so that was our story, How to Train a Train. Now we're going to look at the history of trains. Trains have been around for hundreds of years, and we're going to look at the science of trains. In many ways, the science of trains has changed over time, but in some ways, things have stayed the same. So let's look at the history first. So I'm going to present my screen again so we can look at the history of trains. I'm going to go back to the beginning of my presentation. Storybook STEM. All about trains. So early trains. People have been using trains for hundreds of years. And one of the earliest uses was moving coal from the coal mines. Doesn't look anything like the trains we're accustomed to today. In America, some of the earlier trains were steam trains. These trains burned coal in something called the firebox, and the steam would form and move the pistons, a lot like engines work still today. The steam would come out of the train smokestack. At first, steam trains were used to move coal, but later on, people did ride on them. Diesel trains. About 100 years ago, diesel trains became popular. This is a more modern diesel train. This is not one of the first versions. And electric trains also became popular. Now, these kinds of trains were way faster than the steam trains that came before them. So I'm not going to show you every different kind of train for the past couple of hundred years, but just some highlights. So we're moving fast forwarding to today. And the high-speed trains like this one, the Acela. So the Acela rides right past Edison, Metuchen Metro Park, right near where we live. And this train can go about 165 miles an hour. So that's a lot of the technology that has changed. But some things haven't changed. One thing that has not changed that much are train wheels. So I brought these toys as an example. These are original Lionel trains. You can ask your grandparents if they maybe had these. Maybe your parents had these. My father bought these for my brothers. They're about 60 years old. And the train wheels are a certain shape for a reason. And that hasn't really changed. Because one thing, I don't know if you can see my model down here, one thing that doesn't change is that the train wheels need to stay on the track. My track's coming a little undone. But they need to stay on the track even when they're going into a turn. So that's what our experiment's going to be about. So did you bring your supplies? Let me remind you what you need. I'm going back to my presentation. Even if you didn't bring your supplies, I think you will enjoy watching the experiment. So what do you need? You need 4 paper or plastic cups. You need tape. And then you need either a shoebox with 2 yardsticks or a book with 2 rulers. So let's get started. Take 2 of your cups and tape them together with the wider sides facing each other. Tape them together in the middle. And you can stop this video at any time if I'm moving too fast or if you need to slow down. I need to slow down. You can pause it until you accomplish step 1. Step 2, you're going to take 2 similar cups, but now you're going to tape them together in the opposite direction. All right, so what do we have? We have cups taped together in opposite directions. This one is a conical shape because it's like 2 ice cream cones taped together from the wide side. This we'll call cylindrical. Now, I know you guys study cylinders in math, and this is not a perfect cylinder, but we'll call it cylindrical because we need to differentiate the conical from this one. Now, I want you to make a prediction. Which one of these are going to go down our train track experiment better? It'll help you decide if you see what the train tracks are eventually going to look like. So now here is where you need either the book and 2 yardsticks. Nope. The book and 2 rulers, or the shoebox and 2 yardsticks. And you tape them down to the box or the book. All right. So this is my cylindrical sample. The wider sides are out. Now, did you make a prediction? Which one is going to be better on train tracks? The cylindrical one, which is this, or the conical one? Let's see. All right. My cylindrical cups went flying off the track. Now, if we were doing a real experiment in a lab and we were real scientists, we would do this dozens, if not hundreds of times and track all the data. But I did do this 4 or 5 times and they did fall off every time. So now let's move to our conical. Okay, same thing. I did this 3 or 4 times, and every time, even if I placed it slightly off center, the conical wheel stayed on the track. So what's up with that? Why is that? It has to do with the wheel's geometry. To help wheels stay on the track, their shape is usually slightly conical. It means that the inside of the wheel has a larger circumference than the outside of the wheel. So it's wider on the inside than the outside. And you can see that here. Now this is an example with an axle, but we didn't use that. We just did it without an axle. So why is that important? It's important because they have to rotate at different speeds, and conical wheels allow that. When a conical wheel turns, it slides the larger part of the cone to the outside wheel and the smaller part on the inside wheel. So to put it really simply, one wheel needs to be able to move faster than the other, especially when making turns. So let's look at this in action in a demonstration. Now their cylinder was truly a cylinder. So let's see, as it goes down the track, once it encounters a turn, it can't handle it. So now this is conical with an axle, but see, it's like those ice cream cones. Hopefully you know that word for sure after this. And there it goes. It's fine going straight, and it's fine in the curve. And even when they double it up. But you see it at some points, it's on the wider. One part is on the wider and one part is on the more narrow. So how did you do? What was your prediction? Did you predict conical? Did you get it right? Okay, great job. So thank you for coming to Storybook STEM. We will be doing this live for the next 2 Thursdays at 6 o'clock. But we will also be putting this recording on Facebook every week. So next week we are doing another story with another experiment that has to do with water and buoyancy. The list of supplies will be on the Piscataway Library website. So thank you for joining me for Storybook STEM, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Take care.